a quiet provincial town stood an old cemetery, surrounded by a tall fence and adorned with crooked tombstones. For decades, it had captured the attention of the local residents with its atmosphere of mystery and a somber history. The cemetery was an area filled with legends and tales that were passed down from generation to generation. One evening, Carlos, a young journalist, decided to conduct his own investigation to uncover the secrets of this cemetery. He wanted to delve into its history and learn about those who were buried here. With a flashlight in hand and a notebook at his side, Carlos ventured into the cemetery. He felt that with each step, he gained a deeper understanding of the past and the lives of those whose names were etched into the gravestones. However, during his exploration, Carlos stumbled upon something peculiar. Several graves were missing birth and death dates. Some stones were covered in a thick layer of dust, while others were overgrown with weeds and neglected. His suspicion was aroused. Sensing that there was something unusual here, Carlos decided to speak with the local residents to learn more about the cemetery and its mysterious graves. He met with longtime residents of the town who were familiar with the cemetery's history. They revealed that some of the graves were filled with nameless bodies discovered in the vicinity of the town. In times long ago, when the local hospital was overcrowded, these homeless or unidentified individuals were buried here without any official documentation. Carlos realized that the cemetery concealed not only a multitude of nameless bodies, but also the stories they carried within them. He was determined to uncover the forgotten tales and give a voice to those who had been buried in anonymity. Armed with a newfound sense of purpose, Carlos delved deeper into his investigation of the forgotten graves in the cemetery. He painstakingly combed through historical records, newspaper archives, and local accounts to piece together the identities and stories of those buried in nameless graves. Through his research, Carlos discovered that many of these individuals were victims of tragic accidents, epidemics, or social neglect. They were the forgotten souls who had slipped through the cracks of society, their lives lost and their stories untold. Driven by a desire to honor their memory, Carlos decided to create a memorial within the cemetery. With the help of volunteers from the community, they meticulously restored the neglected graves, cleaning the tombstones and planting flowers to breathe new life into the once forgotten area. Carlos also reached out to the families of the deceased, if any could be found, and invited them to participate in a ceremony to commemorate their loved ones. It was a bittersweet gathering, filled with tears, shared memories, and a sense of closure. The local community rallied behind Carlos's efforts, recognizing the importance of honoring these forgotten souls. The once quiet cemetery became a place of remembrance and reflection, visited not only by locals, but also by curious travelers who were drawn to the heartfelt story of rediscovery and compassion. Through Carlos's dedication and the support of the community, the forgotten graves became a symbol of resilience and unity. The town began to embrace its forgotten history, ensuring that the stories of these nameless individuals were no longer lost in the depths of time. Years passed, and the cemetery transformed into a place of peace and reverence. Carlos's efforts were acknowledged, and he received recognition for his role in uncovering the forgotten tales of the buried souls. The memory of the forgotten graves and the impact of Carlos's work resonated within the hearts of the community for generations to come. And so, the story of the forgotten cemetery and its nameless graves became a testament to the power of compassion and the importance of preserving the stories of those who have been left behind. Carlos's journey had not only uncovered forgotten history, but also sparked a sense of unity and empathy within the community, forever changing the perception of the cemetery and the lives it held. In the end, the forgotten cemetery stood not as a place of darkness, but as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of remembrance. Carlos nervously walked through the entrance gate of the old cemetery. The sun had already set, casting eerie shadows among the tombstones. He had agreed to meet his friends, Daniel and Maria, at the abandoned graveyard to uncover the mystery behind the recent rumors of strange occurrences. Carlos had always been drawn to the macabre and the unexplained, but tonight he could feel a chilling sensation creeping up his spine. He pushed forward, determined to unravel the secrets that lay within. As Carlos made his way deeper into the cemetery, the air grew colder, and a dense fog began to settle. His heart pounded in his chest, but he continued his journey, searching for any sign of Daniel and Maria. The only sound he could hear was the distant hooting of an owl. Suddenly, a rustling noise from behind a mausoleum caught Carlos' attention. He cautiously approached the source of the sound, his heart racing with anticipation. To his relief, he discovered Daniel and Maria, huddled together near a weathered gravestone. "Carlos, you made it," Daniel whispered, his voice trembling. "We've been hearing strange voices and seeing shadowy figures. It's unlike anything we've ever encountered before." Carlos nodded, his eyes scanning the surroundings. The graveyard felt alive with an unsettling energy. They decided to stick together and investigate the phenomenon further, their curiosity overshadowing their fear. As they explored deeper into the cemetery, they stumbled upon a neglected section overrun with ivy and moss-covered graves. Among the dilapidated headstones, Carlos noticed one that seemed different from the rest. It stood taller and more ornate, with an air of mystery surrounding it. Intrigued, Carlos approached the grave and wiped away the dirt and grime that had accumulated over the years. The name engraved on the tombstone sent a chill down his spine: Samuel Blackwood. There was no date of birth or death, only a cryptic inscription beneath the name: "He who seeks shall find, but not without consequence." Carlos felt a surge of unease, but he couldn't resist the lure of the enigmatic message. Ignoring the warning signs, he shared his discovery with Daniel and Maria, who were equally intrigued. "Maybe this is the key to understanding what's happening here," Maria suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. "But what does the inscription mean? What kind of consequence?" Carlos pondered the question, his mind racing with possibilities. Determined to unravel the mystery, the trio decided to investigate Samuel Blackwood's past, hoping to find answers that would lift the shroud of darkness from the cemetery. They spent days digging through old archives, dusty library books, and searching for any trace of Samuel Blackwood's existence. Finally, they stumbled upon an ancient newspaper article that revealed Samuel had been accused of a heinous crime in the town decades ago, but the details remained elusive. Excited by the breakthrough, Carlos, Daniel, and Maria returned to the cemetery armed with their newfound knowledge, unaware of the terrifying events that awaited them. As night fell once again, Carlos, Daniel, and Maria stood before Samuel Blackwood's grave, their hearts pounding with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. The moon cast an eerie glow, illuminating the twisted branches of the surrounding trees. "We need to uncover the truth," Carlos declared, determination burning in his eyes. "If we want to put an end to these supernatural occurrences, we must understand what happened to Samuel Blackwood." With a deep breath, Carlos placed his hand on the cold, weathered tombstone. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the cemetery, causing the trees to creak and moan. The ground beneath their feet trembled, as if awakening from a long slumber. In a moment of chilling clarity, Carlos realized the true meaning of the inscription: consequence. But what kind of consequence was required? Before he could voice his thoughts, the ground before Samuel Blackwood's grave cracked open, revealing a dark, gaping hole. Without hesitation, Carlos descended into the depths, followed closely by Daniel and Maria. The narrow, winding passage led them deeper into the earth, the walls oozing with dampness and decay. Their flashlight beams danced nervously, casting grotesque shadows on the stone walls. After what felt like an eternity, they emerged into a hidden chamber, adorned with ancient symbols and flickering candlelight. In the center stood a grotesque altar, stained with blood and surrounded by sinister-looking artifacts. Carlos's heart sank as he realized the horrifying truth. Samuel Blackwood had been involved in a cult, practicing dark rituals within the confines of the cemetery. They had unleashed forces beyond their control, leading to the restless spirits and haunting whispers that plagued the town. Before they could process the gravity of their discovery, a spectral figure materialized before them, emanating an aura of malevolence. It was Samuel Blackwood himself, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. "You have trespassed into forbidden territory," the ghostly apparition hissed, his voice echoing through the chamber. "You must face the consequence of your actions." Fear gripped Carlos's heart, but he refused to back down. He pleaded with Samuel, vowing to undo the damage caused by the cult and restore peace to the restless spirits. Moved by their sincerity and remorse, Samuel's expression softened, his ghostly form wavered. "You have shown courage and remorse, unlike those who came before you," he whispered. "If you truly seek redemption, you must find the artifact that holds the power to break the curse." Samuel revealed that an ancient artifact, hidden within the depths of the cemetery, held the key to lifting the curse. With renewed determination, Carlos, Daniel, and Maria embarked on a treacherous quest, braving deadly traps and facing vengeful spirits that guarded the artifact. Finally, they reached the heart of the cemetery, where the artifact lay hidden within a decaying mausoleum. As they retrieved the ancient relic, a surge of energy coursed through their bodies. The ground shook, and the ethereal form of Samuel Blackwood began to dissipate, ascending into the heavens. With Samuel's release, the haunting whispers ceased, and the spirits found solace. The cemetery regained its peaceful serenity, no longer a place of fear and despair. Carlos, Daniel, and Maria stood together, knowing that their actions had brought closure to the tormented souls and restored harmony to the town. Their journey had been filled with danger, but it had also taught them the power of redemption and the resilience of the human spirit. As they left the cemetery, a sense of triumph washed over them. They had faced their fears, unraveled the mystery, and emerged stronger than ever before. The tale of their courage and sacrifice would be passed down through generations, a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the triumph of light over darkness. And so, the chapter of the haunted cemetery came to an end, leaving behind a legacy of hope and redemption. The town would forever be grateful to Carlos, Daniel, and Maria for bringing an end to the dark forces that had plagued their lives.